The reason why, my argument is actually a pragmatic one to you. The reason why Christianity is better than liberalism is because the classical liberals, for instance, would puke on liberal progressives and their ideology. Liberalism is mutating. Classical liberals were very much empiricists. They were very much linked to the idea of the study of the natural world, whereas progressive liberals now, and I'm including you both as progressive liberals, have moved away from empirical science, and now you've gone into dogmatic statements of faith, but they're just ones that you've made up. They're not grounded in anything.
But you see the irony, there's irony in saying we're being dogmatic in saying you can identify however you want, we don't care. And you're saying it's being pragmatic to say you have to be a man, you have to be a woman, based on how you were born. Ignoring whether you're right or wrong.
Sorry. When are you going to leave?
Later tonight. This evening. This evening. If you're between 6 and 7. Yeah, go on.
But I mean, this is the main point, right? I mean, you even say you identify someone as a man, you identify someone as a woman, and that might be different to how someone actually is biologically.
No, it's no different. If someone
looks like a woman, they are definitely a woman.
If they are born a woman, they're a woman. If they are born a man, they are a man.
Okay, but if they look like a woman, someone can look like a woman and be a man.
Doesn't change what their genetic code is.
But you agree, so you agree, right? Someone can look like a woman. It's not a trick question. Someone can look like a woman, but be a man. Someone can look like a man and be a woman.
Yeah. That's right. But looking, I could look like a monkey, but it doesn't make me a monkey. Like you can buy really good costumes. Like have you seen the Cadbury's advert of the drummer, the ape drummer? Or am I showing my age? Where it goes do 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 do. Yeah, like from right.
Yeah.
He looked like a convincing ape. Like just because someone looks like something doesn't mean that they are something.
That's absolutely fine.
Right. So just because someone looks like a woman doesn't mean that they are a woman.
Agree.
To be a woman.
Do you agree that gender expression and gender identity are different?
No, that is exactly the opposite of what I'm saying. Gender expression has nothing to do with gender identity.
But you just said that
gender and sex. Gender and sex. Gender and sex are just synonyms. You can use them interchangeably.
Wait, so you're saying gender expression and sex can be two different things?
I am saying that you can look like something, but that doesn't mean what you are. I'm saying that just because you identify as a woman, dress like a woman, present yourself like a woman, does not make you a woman. That is what I am saying, and that's very clear.
Do you think we should suddenly, if someone, because you say gender and sex, I won't use those words, if someone performs as a woman, do you define those words?
Okay, let me ask you this question.
And says they're a woman.
Are you a doctor?
No.
Right, I want you both to do a thought experiment with me. Right? No, wait, do a thought experiment with me.
You go first, and I'll come after the
Let's not worry about the man in the beard and the funny glasses. Yeah, let's not worry about that. Yeah. So no, I'm talking to these two. Stop being rude. Stop being rude. Right. So let's do a thought experiment. Right. You're a doctor. Right. And a trans man calls you up and says, "I think I'm having a miscarriage." Is that possible?
Trans man, no.
Right.
Trans woman, no.
Why can't a trans man have a miscarriage?
Trans man can, a trans woman can't.
I literally just said trans man. Can a trans man have a miscarriage?
A trans man, so a woman.
This is not confusing.
Yes.
Trans man.
Yes.
I.e.
a woman who becomes.
No. Say
You mean
no.
trans
You're right. I'm.
From a relationship and things that we know, women broadly have periods. Not all women, of course, do, but some do, some don't. Most women get pregnant. Obviously, some women do, some don't. Most women have uteruses. Obviously, some women might not have one.
Yeah.
Like we do know these things.
Yeah.
But there's not a 100% case situation where every single woman fits under that one category.
No,
or women with XXY chromosomes.
Can you give me what's your
chromosomes.
definition of a woman again? Because you haven't given one.
Someone who identifies as such.
Right. So what are they identifying as?
As a woman. And
But what is a woman to identify as?
It's a self-identifying.
No,
it includes
hold on,
things
bro.
like how you choose
Let
to
me just. The point is, what you're doing is this. I'm asking you, right? You're saying that there's this group of people that are identifying as X, right? Let's just leave X unspecified, right? And you're saying that a person is X if they identify as X. And then I'm saying, well, what is X? And then you're saying, well, it's what you identify as. So we might as well swap out the word woman with dog. So if I identify as a dog, I am a dog according to your logic.
So
Because I identify as a dog. Why, if I want to identify as a dog, am I not a dog?
But here's the distinction I want to bring up. If you're identifying as a woman and if you are a woman, or if you identify as a woman and your sex is as a woman, they're different things. If we agree with that, at the very least, then what you identify
I don't
as,
agree with that, by the way.
if we suppose that to be true.
But I don't suppose
Let's
that to be
pretend
true.
for a moment and just
I'm
let's go
not
for
pretending that that is true.
Well, then how can I explain the difference?
Exactly.
If you don't pretend,
Exactly.
If you won't even consider the concept,
if we
how can I
remove,
explain the concept?
but that's the point. If we remove reality from this discussion, the whole discussion just evaporates into air, which is exactly what Marx and Nietzsche warned us about. Well, Marx didn't warn us about it; he celebrated the fact. But Nietzsche certainly warned us that when society decided to reorganize without God as its center, that everything would fall apart, that we would walk over a void, over a chasm in which north no longer is north and south no longer is south, and we simply float in a void and we fall into a chasm. And this is exactly what he warned us about. This is exactly what he mourned in his philosophy. He recognized that it was happening and he feared the consequences of it, and you are the fruits that he warned us about.
But what's the consequences of just accepting someone to identify how they want to?
Because-
I'm not saying,
yeah, go
let me
on.
be clear,
Yeah.
I'm not saying, therefore you should let them do all the, you shouldn't change the law. Let's not talk about the law, let's talk about politics. Let's talk about healthcare, which has been run roughshod, Travis Scott has run roughshod,
Yeah.
as the courts have shown,
Yeah.
over the rights of children, over the rights of people who are trying to get healthcare, because the healthcare has been substantive. Just in terms of what you choose to identify, whether I call you a he, or whether I call you a she, or whether I call you a they, why does that matter?
Well, why does it matter? I'll tell you why.
Society will end. That
No,
seems
no,
very
bro.
dramatic.
No. Society will survive, but society won't be.
If every man was a woman and every woman was a man.
So let me reply.
that work?
Okay, so let me reply to your point.
Sorry, you've got a bit here as well.
Yeah, thank you. So let me reply to that point. What does it? How does it matter? I'll tell you how it matters. Women have fought for equal rights, and now a bunch of men and their women enablers have decided that women don't exist, and that women's rights and women equality is now being undermined because men are dominating female spaces. Women are being forced to accept men presenting themselves naked in changing rooms, fully anatomized as men because they've identified as a woman. There have been examples of women being in prison by men who said that they were women. These things matter because women are the victims of trans ideologues like yourselves. And I, as a Christian man, am obliged to defend the natural rights of women as the gentler sex, to protect them from male violence, from male oppression. And that means I must oppose you because you are in favor of male violence and male oppression over women by the fact that you are in favor of trans ideology. You have whitewashed women from the history books. They now no longer exist as far as you're concerned. There's no such thing as a woman because you still can't tell me what a woman is. Try again. What is a woman?
It's someone who identifies as such.
So what are they identifying as?
How you dress, how you perform, how you live in society.
But what is
how you
that?
behave.
What is that? What are you identifying as if you're identifying as a woman? You see, you can't answer.
What are you identifying as if you identify as a woman?
Yeah, what are you identifying as if you
I think
identify
it's
as a woman?
literally as much as that. I think it's a very rapid definition. I don't think it.
So exactly.
Let's say-
So you're now
women
saying that
have
there isn't
been-
a thing called a woman.
Let's say that women are now identifying.
Someone who gives birth.
Well, that's part of it.
It's the point doesn't
all of
matter.
it.
If it's so, the point is.
I'm
it's
sorry,
so
your
empty,
point
it
got
doesn't
lost. Go
matter.
on.
Let's just say that we can specify it as what women have looked like throughout history. Okay, we put it as that we are now distinguishing a difference between male and female and the identity of gender. You don't agree with that?
I don't agree with that because women, that is.
But we are distinct. But we
I'm
do.
sorry, but this is the lie of liberal progressives. Liberal progressive has reduced women to how they dress and how long they grow their hair. The reality is That is not the experience of being a woman. Being a woman is dealing with estrogen, riding the dragon. Being a woman is being able to give birth. Being a woman is about having periods, about dealing with these kind of things. It's about dealing. No, trans women, right, are as physically strong as other men. That is not the world that women live in. Women live in real women, actual women, the real women of the world, live in a world in which they must navigate the strength and possible abuse of that strength by men. A trans woman is as physically strong as a man, and therefore could defend themselves like a man. A real woman, pound for pound, would always be the weaker sex. That's the real experience of women.
If they present themselves as a woman, they have to suffer like women do. They take hormones, they have to suffer like women do.
Yes, so it's based on a lie, because they have to chemically change their bodies. And also, but your definition of a woman is someone who dresses like a woman and grows their hair long. That's rubbish. That is not the sum total of female experience. You do not.
You're telling me no, the sum total of female experience.
I'm telling you, you do not do service to womanhood when you reduce womanhood to how you dress and how long is your hair and whether you wear makeup. Like a man can never be a mother. Never.
That's correct, yes.
Can never be a mother. Doesn't matter if they call themselves a woman. Men and women love children differently.
No, men
yes, they do.
As well.
No one ever said anything different. I said they loved children differently. I'll give you just a sort of personal experience. It's not objective science. One of the complaints that I know that happens between couples is that men have an ability to tune out. No. And that includes tuning out children. I had this experience myself. This ability. I tuned out my own little sister, right, when she was crying in a crib, and my mum screamed at me and she said, "How can you listen to that baby cry and do nothing?" Because her mind as a mother was activated by the cries of my little sister in a way that my mind as a man was not. Right? But that is an experience of womanhood that is unique to womanhood. It's beautiful. And you, in your sick, you're not sick, but your sick ideology has reduced womanhood to basically how you dress. You have reduced the women's experience, what it is to be a woman, to how you dress, whether you wear makeup, and whether you grow your hair long.
That's not true.
So what is a woman?
What someone identifies as, and you're reducing it to purely biological.
And how do you? Okay, so now answer this question: how do you identify as a woman?
Personally, I was born as a woman.
No, I'm not asking you how you identify. How does someone identify as a woman according to your ideology?
They say they identify as a woman.
And how do
they choose to represent themselves however they want.
So how do they represent themselves as a woman?
How they present themselves however they want to.
So how do they? So if someone,
it tends to be that they choose to present themselves in a feminine manner.
And how do they present themselves in a feminine manner?
Am I dressed as a dog? Am I a dog?
We've already done that argument. We've already done that argument.
But plenty of people that were born as women choose to dress in a masculine manner.
So
they get misgendered even though they identify as women and they present themselves looking masculine. They're like, no,
so it's about how they appear, isn't it?
No.
Yeah, that's exactly the argument you've just made. No. You've just made it's how they present themselves.
How they choose to identify what they
the whole distinction that progressives make between gender and sex is that they say gender is a social construct based upon presentation. And thus they say that if you decide to dress in a long flowing dress and grow your hair long and wear makeup, and you decide to present yourself in a feminine way with long nails, that therefore, and there you call yourself a woman, because you have presented yourself that way, you are a woman. So in other words, progressive ideology has reduced womanhood to simply how you present. Christianity rejects that because we say that womanhood is, like manhood, something beautiful and unique that is created by God, and there are experiences that are particular and specific and discrete to women that are not shared with men, characteristics, abilities that are unique two women that are not shared with men that make women distinct and different from men, and you cannot transform from one to the other.